Hi, I am Alberto Calva from Accus Consulting. We have prepared for you an analysis with some numbers and statistics about the Electoral College in the United States for the period from 1960 to 2020. This is information and an analysis from the last 60 years. The Electoral College is the one who, at the end, is going to define who's going to be the winner of the presidential election in 2020. Let's start. Probably you have never seen a chart like this one. In this graph, we have information from 1960 up to 2020. This is, we have 16 periods, 16 elections that represent what has happened in the last 60 years in the United States. The blue bars on the left represent the members of the Electoral College from the Democratic Party. In the right side, the red bars represent the members of the Electoral College who gave their vote for the Republican Party. And in the middle, there are some parts where there is some yellow. That would mean other votes for other reasons or for other parties. And as you can see, the members in the Electoral College are 538. So you divide this by 2, the half is exactly 269 votes. And this is the green line that you can see here. The dotted green line is 269 votes. So you can see here that in some periods, the Democratic vote has been the winner. And in other periods, the Republican vote has been the winner. So let's analyze the numbers, and you'll see things that are very interesting in this situation. Okay, first, let's see some key figures about the presidential election in 2020. First, last November the 3rd, the elections took place in the United States. What was voted here were the members of the Electoral College for each of the states in the US. Every state has 2 Electoral College members, 1 for each senator that they have, plus 1 for each member in the House of Representatives. And this number of representatives has to do with the size of the population for each state, plus 3 votes for the District of Columbia. The addition of all these votes are the 538 votes that the Electoral College has. Now, what's going to happen next Monday on December 14, 2020? The 538 members of the Electoral College are going to cast their vote in each state to elect the president. Until then, we don't know exactly or formally who's the winner of the election. At least the winner needs 270 votes. This will be 538 votes divided by 2 plus 1. This is what is required at least to win. Since it is an indirect election system, the popular vote may not be the same as the results in the Electoral College. We will see that in 2 cases in these last 60 years, the popular vote has been different to the results in the Electoral College, and that will be years 2016 and 2000. 2016 and 2000. Now, on January the 6th, 2021, the Congress in Washington will count the electoral votes, the Electoral College votes, and will declare the winner. And it is expected that Joe Biden could be the winner at that moment. And then on January 20th, 2021, it'll be Inauguration Day. Now, let's see the numbers more specifically. What has happened around here? Okay, first of all, if you see this chart, we have the first 4 most recent elections. And in 2020, Joe Biden got 306 Electoral College votes. And it is expected that Donald Trump will have 232 Electoral College votes. The addition of these 2 is 538 votes. So next December the 14th, if everybody votes in the way it is expected, very likely Joe Biden will be the elected president for the United States. Every figure in blue means a candidate from the Democratic Party, and every number in red means a candidate from the Republican Party. In 2016, Donald Trump got 304 votes from the Electoral College, while Hillary Clinton got 227. Uh, Before that, Obama, in his two periods, he got 332 and 365 against Romney and McCain. Before that, we have in 2004 and 2000, George Bush's son got 286 votes and 271 votes, defeating Kerry and Al Gore in 2000. But as we will see in the next chart, Al Gore got the largest number of popular votes in 2000, but the Electoral College composition gave more votes to George Bush than to Al Gore. Same thing that happened in 2016. Now, in 1992 and 1996, the winner was Bill Clinton with 379 votes and 370 votes against Dole and against George Bush's father. In 1992, there was a third candidate that was Ross Perot, and I would say that Ross Perot took away some votes from the Republican Party. If he wouldn't have been there, probably the result would have been different. We will never know that. Okay, in 1998, George Bush's father defeated Dukakis with 426 votes in the Electoral College against 111 from Dukakis. In 1984 and previously 1918, Ronald Reagan won with 525 votes, which is in this history is the largest number of votes in the Electoral College, 525, and previously with 489 votes against against Mondale and Jimmy Carter. In 1976, Jimmy Carter had won with 297 votes from the Electoral College against 240 from Ford. Previous to this, in 1972 and 1968, Richard Nixon got 520 votes from the Electoral College in his re-election, the second largest after Reagan, and 301 Electoral College votes in 1968. Previous to that, in 1964, Johnson got 486 votes for the Electoral College, and Kennedy 303 votes for the Electoral College against 219 from Richard Nixon. Richard Nixon lost in 1960. 8 years later, he won the election for 2 periods. But what happened if we check the popular vote in all of these cases? And you'll see that there are some interesting things. We can see here in this chart, we have the year, we have the winner, the percentage of Electoral College votes, the percentage of popular vote, the number of the name of the loser, the percentage of the Electoral College votes, and the percentage of the popular vote. In 2020, Joe Biden is expected to have 57% of the Electoral College votes and Trump 43%. And it is expected that Joe Biden is getting 51% of the popular vote and Donald Trump 47%. The difference is, since it is not 100, the difference in all the cases is because there is some popular vote for other minor candidates. In 2016, Donald Trump got 57% of the Electoral College votes against the Hillary Clinton with 43. But look at this, Hillary Clinton got a larger percentage of the popular vote against Donald Trump, 49 against 46. If the election would have been based on popular vote, Hillary Clinton would have won. But since the system in the US is with the Electoral College, obviously Donald Trump won that election. Previous to that, Barack Obama 62% and 68 and also won the popular vote. Before that, we had George Bush's son. In the second term, in 2004, 53% of the Electoral College votes and 51% of the popular vote. But look at 2000. He got George Bush 50.5% of the votes from the Electoral College, while Al Gore got 49.5%. But look, Al Gore got 1% more votes in the popular vote than George Bush. But once again, since it is the system is an Electoral College, the winner was George Bush's son. Before this, it was Bill Clinton 1992 and 1996 with 70% and 69%, and also winning the popular vote. Previous to this, George Bush father got 79% of the Electoral College votes and 54% of the popular votes, defeating Dukakis in this case. Ronald Reagan in 1980 and then 1984 got 98% of the Electoral College and 91% of the Electoral College. But look at the popular vote. He got 59 and 51. I mean, he didn't get that much difference as he did with the Electoral College. Anyway, this is the largest from this series of not data. This is the largest number of seats or votes in the Electoral College for one of the candidates. Carter in 1976, Jimmy Carter got 55% of the Electoral vote and 51% of the popular vote against Gerald Ford. Before that, in 1968, first Richard Nixon, and then he was reelected in 1972. He got 97 and 56% of the Electoral College votes, with 62% and 44% of the popular vote. But still, in 1968, he got more a larger popular vote than Humphrey. There was a third candidate also in this election, if I'm not wrong. In 1964, Johnson got 90% of the votes for the Electoral College with 69% of popular votes. And in 1960, Kennedy got 56% of the votes from the Electoral College, and Richard Nixon, 41%. But look at the popular vote. Kennedy got 50% of the popular vote, and Nixon got 49.8% of the popular vote. But he lost basically because, well, in the popular vote also, but also he lost in the composition of the Electoral College. So as you can see here, the decision is based on the Electoral College, and it is not based in popular vote. If the popular votes will be the definition of the winner, at least in two of these elections, the winner would have been another person. We hope this information is interesting for you, useful to understand how the electoral process in the US takes place. I am Alberto Calva from Accus Consulting. We are based in Toronto, Canada.